to you tonight here as well. All lane carry ALC versus HaNa.
Yeah, it should be a pretty interesting match. I'm just booting it up right now. Don't know a lot about either of these teams as well, but
Yeah.
they are Taiwanese players, and the scene has been growing, just phenomenally over there. So it should be really exciting. Looking at these teams, the comps are definitely solid. So I'm assuming these guys, they know what they're doing. They're practice in art of League of Legends.
Yep. So there you go. So just a quick overview of the team. So right here for ALC for all lane carry, going to go ahead and have Graves and Lulu onto the bot lane. Don't see Lulu too much in the support role these days anymore. Going to have Lee Sin top, Ari in the mid. You see Ari again did fantastic, previous game as well. And Amumu in the jungle. Been seeing a lot of him lately.
Yeah, and this is honestly kind of unusual, but I don't know which team is which.
So ALC all lane carries on blue side.
Okay.
Then we got HaNa.
We know that's true.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, that's a sigh of relief. But regardless, they are going to be coming in here and going to be starting protecting their blue. All lane carry, very comfortable sitting back. So again, all lane carry blue. There you go. We know it now. It's all set up.
So now,
going off.
The one thing I see on HaNa, a jungler you don't commonly see, and that is Volibear. Dancing away off in that tri-brush. Let's talk a little bit about Volibear jungle.
Well, I'm kind of curious whether or not they expected Volibear to go top originally and then swapped out. I don't know. I'd be kind of interested to see. I think Volibear versus Lee Sin is a pretty even matchup if you go in the lane. Volibear is actually a really strong laner, and just all around, he's if you guys haven't played him, he's really an underutilized champion right now. But he does have some nice strengths. Late game, he can be an absolute monster. His toss is incredible, and then you pair it with someone like Anivia. He pairs very well with Anivia. You have the wall off. When the enemy's trying to push, you can stall forever. We saw that with clg.na versus M5. They just stalled for days basically at their turret, and so you stall off, you pick someone off with the wall or with the flash frost. Volibear comes up, tosses them back into the fray. So yeah, you've got some nice kill potential there. As a jungler, it's kind of interesting. So his E, he actually went with his W first. His E, I would normally expect that to be what you go for jungling because it fears minions for 3 seconds, and so it's a very safe jungle. Once he gets a level on that, he's going to be fine. But it's a very safe jungle, and you can jungle fairly quickly.
On the other end of the map, though, Amumu going for blue. Now, blue is a pretty vital part of Amumu's jungle, but since there is no invade, we'll be able to go ahead and secure that, and Volibear should be able to go ahead and grab the blue as well. And also, one of the big advantages for Volibear, okay, so he's actually going to go for the E second. So he's got that. He's got the fear. Should be fine. Volibear, once he gets low, he has his passive, he has all that extra regen. Right. So he's tough. He's really tough to take out in team fights, or just period. If you've ever had to play up against Volibear, he can be very annoying. He's skipping the wraiths and going straight for red. He saved his smite. He did not use it on blue.
Oh, but we have Tarek coming to zone off Graves a little bit here. Yeah, that's actually something we're starting to see more and more with junglers.
Now Amumu also saved his. He's going to go ahead and finish off the red really quick too.
And it's interesting. It does speed up your jungle some. You don't have to worry about counter jungling. A lot of people are concerned about counter jungling at that red. If you go for the quick red, then you're going to have your jungle sped up a little bit. Amumu a little bit ahead of Volibear right now, but Volibear is in the sweet spot. He is heading up towards top. We don't have any ward coverage, so they will have to watch out for that gank.
Yep, Volibear now just getting in position, gaining bush, but Amumu's also down bot lane, does get caught out by the Tarek, and the Graves will try and go ahead and get some damage while they're being a little bit curious, and this AD Kennen is now in full retreat. Ignite go down, chugging these potions, but first blood going top lane. Gonna go ahead and rewind real quick and go ahead and see that. There's Volibear setting up for a kill, comes on in any second now.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching the map, and he took so long.
Any second now, a little bit too late on that. Why wait so long?
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, but Lee Sin with the shield, he might actually pick up the kill, and he gets the Q.
Oh,
there it is, the slow.
And double buff going to Lee Sin top. Yeah. Huge misstep. Just waited way too long to be part of that fight.
Amumu actually coming back bot once again, gets the flash, but misses the bandage toss, and there's the stun, but actually it doesn't even matter because Derek Jeter from Taiwan is able to pick up the kill there.
Yep. So there's still damage from Amumu from the AOE. Was still able to go ahead and get a little bit extra onto the Kennen. And and once again, this is AD Kennen here with the Tarek support. Which
So it's actually a really aggressive lane, and
yeah, it's supposed to be.
Right. And Kennen, we've seen Kennen kind of moving back and forth.
Yeah.
The AoE is always nice. I mean, if you kind of get into situations sometimes you're like, wow, I'm really behind on farm, and I suck at AD, so I'll just ultimate. It's no big deal.
And not to mention, Lulu is still not connected to this game.
Right. Yeah. That is the bigger issue, and unfortunately going against an aggressive lane. But
there we go.
The interesting thing. Graves versus Kennen, Graves has the passive. He's pretty tanky, but Kennen actually has slightly greater attack range. It's 550 attack range, 575 actually, so I was slightly off on that, whereas Graves is 525. So 575 attack range, you do have the harass advantage there for Kennen, and then you also have the fact that Kennen's base stats early in the game are actually really high, which is why you can play Kennen as an AD. You have a nice attack animation, and you have high base stats, allowing you, to farm effectively and scale well into late game. So a lot of like AD carries, you're like, oh, I want to play AP Annie, but as an AD carry. It's tough to do because you don't have the stats to follow it up. Kennen does. You follow up the Taric stun with your own stun, the Shuriken. We do have a Mumu coming up top, the quick buckshot, and there it is. Following after that, Kennen will get off of that wall and actually picking up the kill there. So
nice.
Really nice job, and there's a Mumu skill chasing.
Mumu with the bandage onto Taric, just trying to harass him just a little bit, force him back to the tower, and Lulu's just there just in time to protect the Graves from dying. And it's I gotta feel Lulu hopping back into the game is like, hey, I'm back. What did I miss? Oh, we're up 3 kills. I can buy a Philosopher's Stone and just go straight into lane at level 1. Pretty good deal. And right there, Lee Sin and Riven trying to get some exchanges going down. But Lee is actually getting the better of that engagement because he does have the double buff, the wave, and the follow-up kick was going to be more than enough. That giving Lee that double buff, it hurts. It hurts. It's just quite possibly the worst thing you can do to any lane, especially top lane.
Well, and especially Riven versus Lee, because Riven as a laner, she's really an all-in kind of laner. She doesn't have regen, so you're expecting to get kills or get an early advantage, and you have the aggression to do it. At about level 4 on, Riven can beat most laners in lane matchups. She's just so aggressive. Versus Lee Sin has the heal. He has the regen with his shield. So having that early advantage, it means that Riven can't pick up kills. So like you saw, Riven's trying to be aggressive, trying to pick up kills, doesn't have enough damage, and then Lee Sin is just going to be able to sit there and regen off the creeps if he doesn't just outright kill Riven like we saw there.
And Ahri in the mid, just pushing creeps to tower. Granted, Anivia can farm pretty decently under tower with the ult, but that requires quite a bit of mana, i.e. blue buff being passed, which should actually be spawning in the next about 20 seconds or so. But Volibear is top lane, possibly trying to help out the Riven, killing the Lee Sin. But the thing is, though, there's a lot of great ward coverage top lane in the Tribrush offensive ward. Gonna know if Volibear is gonna in the area unless he goes the long way around through the river. So he's just there grabbing the small golems and he's just thinking about where he's gonna go next.
Yeah, and one of the nice things with that Anivia, having the blue buff open, Kennen, because of the aggression you have down in that bottom lane, and because of Anumu's kind of weakness as a jungler, it means that Anivia will be very safe to pick up that blue. And yeah, was that an all because I was insulting Amumu?
No. I was looking at the damage from Lee Sin going down to Riven. Just like
I was like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Do you want me to?
No. But Anivia, one of the big things against Anivia, you want to get that blue buff early, and you want to try and keep that blue buff off over very quickly. You can take advantages. We'll see if Ahri tries to go in for the kill. Amumu is off. Ahri, the issue with Ahri versus
Amumu's going the long
Anivia,
way around, actually.
Right.
He's actually he's going to get a ward just to know where Volibear is. Attempting for a steal on the red. They do have a pretty good notion on the timer, and there it is. So Volibear's going to go ahead and pass off the blue to Anivia, but he's waiting.
Actually, really nice play from all team
Amumu's going to go ahead and grab the red. Ahri's not going to be too far behind. Lee Sin's actually coming around, too. They're looking to get an ambush here. Or, and also just to go ahead and secure the red in case... Oh,
he's actually going to take it for himself. That is just dirty. He's going to be going into the top lane already with a 2-level advantage, and then having that red buff, and Amumu is following with him. They might just, tower dive this. We'll see. We could see the Lee Sin cake. There it is, into a minion, knocking him out, and we'll see if that bandage toss hits. There's the ultimate.
Ult right on the edge of the ult. Riven does get caught and should go down to the ignite, and there is Lee Sin, the dirty monk with the red buff. That sounds like a drink. That sounds like a drink to be made with Dirty Monk. But with the red buff, though, it is indeed pretty dirty.
I was about to say something, and I realized I'll hold my tongue, but yeah, so Lee Sin...
It's a dirty play, though.
Lee Sin with some nice aggression up top. Anivia was able to pick up the blue. Now, Anivia versus Ahri. Ahri can farm very easily. It kind of turns into a free farm lane.
Yep.
Ahri has the mobility to dodge some of the snares and whatnot, so if Anivia misses that Flash Frost, then you can be aggressive, and that's kind of the cue there. Unfortunately, Ahri doesn't really have enough follow-up damage. We'll see. We have the stun coming down, though. Kennen's going to ult. There it is, the flash out from Taric and the Flash Frost from Anivia. Unfortunately, Taric does go down. The wall won't pick him up.
Pushing him away, actually. The wall actually shoved Graves a little bit further away, but there is the flash from Kennen trying to go ahead and capitalize. It will actually still get the kill, but there's the Lulu being caught still. Also, the Anivia ult, but Kennen will not be able to get away from the Amumu.
Yeah, so we get the nice pickup
there.
Here
comes Ahri.
And now Ahri for the return.
No, backing off.
Now, it's interesting. So Ahri, can kill Anivia pretty easily, but unfortunately, Ahri, when her cooldowns are down, she's very low on damage, so won't be able to kill the egg usually. So we'll see how that factors in later. Once we're into team fights, it doesn't really matter. You egg Anivia, you kill her. It's the same thing, basically.
Yeah.
But we will be pushing down this dragon. We have an 8-2 advantage. That's going to be 5K with that dragon. Just absolutely huge. Lee Sin coming down. And I don't know, with his items at this point, he's so far ahead. I mean, clearly on Riven, there's not a lot that Riven can do.
So now, while they're doing that, now I want to go back to that Lee Sin with the red buff. In what instances would you want to pass a buff off to your top laner?
Oh, in the instances where you know he's just going to destroy. But I mean, the thing is, your early buffs you don't want to pass off, because you want him as a jungler. You're going to tend to be more aggressive than the top lane as far as getting kills, and you also need the experience. At that point, it was later into the game, so if it was like a level 1 counter jungle, then 100% that buff is going onto your jungler. You're not going to take it from your top lane. There's some situations, very unusual, where you would, but usually it's going to go into the jungler. At that point, it didn't matter. They're like, okay, so we can easily win this lane. I mean, Amumu, he already has some disables. He doesn't really need the damage, so it just completely shuts Riven out of the game, which is, always going to be a good thing.
Well, that's in most top lane situations, that's what you're trying to do in the first place anyway. And Riven, once she gets farmed, if she gets ahead, it could be a pretty devastating force. But now with Lee Sin being ahead, not really going to have that problem here.
And it's astounding to me that Lulu has already caught back up, is level 6 along with Taric. And, I mean, coming back in, they were like level 5 when Lulu was level 1. And as a result, they had to play really defensively in lane. They had to just sit back. But Graves doing a nice job farming, was able to control this lane pretty easily. Lulu being really defensive, has the pink ward in the brush. And so very quickly, they're back into this. And now we're starting to get into that Lulu harass.
And Taric hasn't even bought a GP10 yet. That's just ridiculous to me. He's still got the Fairy Charm stun going down onto the Graves, trying to get the engaging. Kennen going all the way in. Volibear with the flip, trying to keep the Graves under wraps. The ult whiffing everybody. He's still pretty low, but still the damage coming in. Kennen wants to get that stun on to the Graves. Main selection guy, and there is the Amumu ult to try and save the day. Kennen does go down to the Graves, and he is back into this. He's weak before, but now he's caught up and may actually go ahead and get a kill onto Taric. The dash in, maybe enough to close the gap, and there's the Amumu. Can't get the bandage, can't get something. There's a bandage to keep him still, and the tantrum will be more than enough.
All around, awesome turnaround from all lane carry. Now we have Lee Sin actually chasing after Riven, gets the knock up into the wall, but is close to going down himself with that Riven ultimate, but he will be able to come back in and pick her up if he hits the Q. There it is.
He's got it. Protect yourself. You got the shield. Should be able to walk away from that one. Nice. Nice play.
Oh, wow. And Anivia actually almost picking up this Ahri. We'll have to back off. The flash from Anivia, baiting it out and then getting out of there really quickly.
That orb was centimeters. Centimeters away from Anivia's beak. Could have been a huge disaster, but there's a Mumu to still try and follow up on this. The bandage keeping the bird still, and Ahri's actually going to be able to get back into lane.
Yeah, and we do see Lulu here, sitting by if they need to defend. I'm surprised it took them so long. Fighting versus that Graves, they were just able to keep him alive forever, basically. And I don't know, just the nice support from Lulu. You can become so tanky, you have the passive. They don't really have enough damage right now. Again, I'm flabbergasted that we didn't see him go down, but regardless, he is way ahead at this point. Getting the Brutalizer, when all of his abilities are physical damage, that is going to be devastating for that bottom lane, just how much burst damage he has. And then that's always the nice thing with Lulu, is you turn anyone on your team into a tank. If they're trying to focus down Graves or they're trying to focus down Ahri, it doesn't matter that they're really short range because they have the shield, they have the ultimate. It's not going to be that big of a deal.
Amumu 3-0-3 with 3 GP10 items. That is going to be huge. and about, as the game continues to drag on, just more and more income, and he's just going to get more and more tanky. There's the pull from Amumu on to the Ken. Advantage is successful, and there is the Anivia ult, trying to keep everyone still wanting to go after tech, but we'll still be able to get the and get the kill. Graves now focusing down onto the bird after finishing off the Tarek, and now Volbear will be the next one to go down. The regen is not going to help you in that situation. There's 2 wards in that bush, and right now HaNa cannot do a whole lot about it. There's another bandage toss on it to Anivia. She is egged. It's no problem.
Yeah, all lane carry looking really impressive in this game. 15-2 at this point. It's I guess you could safely say it's over. We'll have to see. I mean, there is always the potential. We have great team fight late game and through the mid game for time to terminate. They do have lots of AoE. They have the Anivia.
The time to terminate was last game.
Oh right, I'm sorry for HaNa. So HaNa, we'll see if they can come back. They have the Anivia. They have the Kennen. That AoE is definitely going to be pretty nice. The issue is they're so far behind on farm, and Anivia has really high base stats, so it's not as much of a concern with her. You're still going to be doing lots of damage. You don't need to build a lot of AP. However, Kennen only having a Wriggles at this point, which, it is nice for lane control, but once you get into team fights, it's really not enough damage. And then the big thing is Riven has no damage. So
Riven,
a
chain vest.
Yeah, trying to be a tanky body, Lee Sin forcing her into the defensive items, and so as a result, she's going to be almost worthless in the mid game fights.
None of HaNa's actually bought anything really offensive. It's just pure defensive items. No damage coming from anybody. You have the Doran shield on the Volbear and 1 GP10 in order to compare to the 3 that Amumu already has. Tarek's only got 1 GP10 as opposed to Lulu's 2, plus in Oracle's in the pocket as well. It's just everyone's so behind the flash, trying to get the stun, following up on the stuns onto Ari, trying to keep her down. The flash over the wall will get her to safety, and Lulu's there just in time to help with the save.
I swear, HaNa, they have to be almost, pissed right now. All these fights that seems like they're going to be able to pick up kills, and they just can't. And a lot of it's that Lulu. We may have Lee Sin coming in the bandage shots, just barely not picking them up. But they had the, the Flash Frost from Anivia, able to pick up Ari there. I thought they were going to grab it, just barely couldn't get it done. And
Amumu's just having a fun time. He's just having a fun time laughing right there in the middle of the lane. I wish it was Robot Amumu, so that would have been nice as well. But there's the kick onto Tarek. Base checking that bush. It is indeed where they had all division needed. There's the Lulu ult to keep everyone slowed. Volibear on the back line does go down next, along with the bird. Kennen will not be able to get out of that one. There's a nice double kill for the Amumu, and Riven is left to her own devices. Full health, ultimate popped, and cannot do anything about this. They know she's not a target.
We could actually go for a Baron here, or they could actually go for a Baron here. They're not, so we'll be safe. They'll be going for that dragon, but they have plenty of damage at this point, and the fact that 4 members are down, it is a very early Baron, but they probably could have done it. Better be safe. So they are going to get a dragon and the second turret pretty easily. If Riven tries to go in there, then Graves is just going to take her down. So not really that big of a concern. They get the gold advantage, 13k up ahead. They will be up 14k after this turret, and actually Riven trying to engage, but Graves able to get out of there easily with the help of Lulu.
Yep, you got this. Squirrel can only run so far, unfortunately. So second tier in mid secured, Dragon secured, ALC all lane carries looking pretty good right now. It's 19-2. They're so far ahead. I mean, it's nearly double gold. It's nearly double the gold. And the longer this game drags out, the more ALC is going to go ahead and press their position here. And they have all the mobility necessary to escape from all the tricks that Anivia has, like the walls. Ari can still got the ult, can go ahead and navigate around that. They're saving their ults, they're saving their summoner spells for instances like that, in case they do need to get away. They don't really need to use them to engage. They don't have to. It's just last resort. They don't really need them most of the time.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely true, and I don't know. We'll have to see. Once we get the Shirelias onto Volibear, that'll definitely be really nice as far as trying to pick people off. But the issue is that they can't engage onto, all lane carry, like you said, and it's just they don't really have a whole lot of options. But they need to be able to play defensively here. They can stall out very easily with that Anivia. So if they can get themselves farmed, then they can hold the game off for quite some time. Try and pull it into the mid game where they have a fighting chance with their AOE. The issue is just Lulu almost won't allow anyone to die, and just how much burst damage we have from all lane carry at this point in time. We have the wall off though. There's
nice.
The perfect play. That's what they needed. The toss back and the ultimate, but Lulu not going down fast enough. Amumu with the bandage toss in. We have the quick burst, and Ari finishing it up. We'll be able to pick up the 1 kill, actually just barely getting out of there. Riven is here as well. They will be able to chase her down. The rest of them are scattering, and there's the kill onto Riven.
Auto attack will be able to finish off the Riven, and they're just flashing right into the base. They want the rest of these kills. They are hungry. They want to go ahead and secure their lead. The minions have not pushed up, though. They are taking free turret shots, and Volbear and Nivea are still here looking to make a mess. The Qs, the kicks going down from Lee Sin, and there's a Dragon's Rage trying to keep Nivea there. She is egged under tower. Go ahead and snap that up real quick. But the shutdown of Mumu does fall, and Lee Sin cannot get back over the wall in time. Ari's really hurt, though. If Kennen gets the right shuriken in the right spot, could actually still secure this. Ward going down into the bush does not get the vision needed.
Yeah, so they will be able to back out of there. And unfortunately, even though they have a couple of kills, it's a little bit early where, you know, maybe a little bit later, this could be a Baron opportunity where they could just try for the risky Baron. Ari just still hanging out up top.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be able to recall, so she is going to be fine there. But we'll see. I mean, all-in carry, despite those deaths, is perfectly fine still. They, you know, did a number on mid. They were able to take down that second turret. I don't know. We'll see whether or not they just kind of group up and look for an aggressive push. But it all started off with Lulu getting caught out of position. And despite that fact, it was still a pretty successful fight for all-in carry.
And even then, I just look at everyone. Everyone's just so ridiculously fed. Ari is actually not even really contributing all too much. It's Graves, it's Lee, and it's Amumu being the huge, big name players here. And, you know, just all the physical damage is available to him as well. I mean, HaNa knows. Look at Volbear. 2 Doran's shields, still trying to stack the health, armor, and regen. Finally, it got starting to get some damage onto HaNa. You got the BF sword on Riven. You got a gunblade. I know you got a revolver onto Anivia, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough.
Yeah, we'll have to see. You know, they don't have enough burst. Anivia isn't really the issue, but it's just the fact that as a team, you know, it's so underwhelming, their presence in fights right now. We do have the Flash Rush coming down, but they will be safe. You know, they can just sit out here, see if they pick someone off, and I don't know, see where it goes from there. And all-in carry, really nice job all around throughout this game, putting themselves in this kind of a position.
Yeah, Amumu's still just the happiest guy in the world right there. He's got the armor. He's just laughing right in front of the tower. Wants to give people hugs. There's nothing wrong with that. But really all they need to do is they need to wait for the minion waves in order to continue their aggression. Granted, all-in carry's in a huge position right now. They can't just go ahead and just willy-nilly dive. That's what happened last time. Actually managed to still get a few kills and a lot of damage coming in from the tower, putting a hurt onto Amumu and onto Lee and onto Ari as well. So it's just, but they can just stay here as long as they need to. They can just do this forever if they wanted to, really.
But look at how much damage was onto that turret. They, you know, got it down to 3rd HP. Anivia could actually, with the blue buff and with the tier and with the chalice, just leave the AoE running the entire time and not have to worry about this. Here's the quick engage, actually, the wall up, and Lee Sin tossed back into the rest of the team.
There's the Lulu ult to try and keep him safe, and he tries to get a kick, does actually get some damage. Carrot goes down, Volbear goes down, Kennen goes down as well. Lee Sin is the only one down for all-in carry. There's the triple kill on to the Anivia from Ari, taking shots from the turret. Will we be able to get out of there in time? Yes. Yes, you will. The double kill from the Amumu for the ace. Now Graves goes down, but you know what? He died a hero. Managed to take out that turret. Should be able to go ahead and get the inhib for this as well. Got to get 6-7 seconds before people from HaNa start actually popping back up. But the inhib should go down
across the battlefield.
Look at all that. Look at the bear. Look at the Riven. Look at the bird. Just it's pure, absolute carnage. I remember the war. I remember the battle. My best friend died in there. He was a bear. Don't question how I made friends with the bear. It was war. You do strange things.
I enjoy playing League of Legends. I'm a little scared now.
Well, you should be. It's war.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we have a really nice game all around for all-in carry. I'm definitely excited to see how they kind of match up when we see the Taipei Assassins match. I guess maybe tomorrow even.
Well, we'll go over the schedule after this because we're still not quite done yet here.
Right.
Baron is actually still up And HaNa's actually in a pretty good spot right now to sneak it. Unfortunately, they have no vision really anywhere pertinent on the map. If they had,
they also don't have enough damage is the issue.
They also still don't have enough damage either. So if they even tried to sneak the Baron,
right,
it's going to take forever. But still though,
slow Barons are never a recipe for success.
They're
when
the
you're
worst
trying
Barons.
to steal them.
Yeah, slow Barons are the worst Barons. If you're gonna have the Baron team, you need to be able to take it down with the quickness before anyone really finds out. And this is just not the team to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I will expect all-in carry to probably just push down one of these side lanes. They recognize how strong they are in these team fights at this point. We can't get any kills. HaNa is trying to chain CC these people and can't pick them up. We have Lee Sin caught a little bit out of position, though. There's the shield to the minion. He's still going to be fine, even though he's trapped. They can't take him down.
Lee Sin, he is exhausted, having a little bit of a harder time. Does get the flip from Volibear, but Amumu is there with the ult. Done. The ult is down. Actually, used it earlier, but there's Ari with the kill. A Hunter, Tarek, and double kill also will be getting the Riven. Oh man, Anivia out of sheer desperation flashing over the wall the wrong way, but their egg form double kill going down onto the graves. Kennen just hanging on by a shred, but still though, everyone from all-in carry is still alive. There's an open inhib. The inhib is down in mid. Let's go ahead and walk on in with the creep wave and might actually just be able to take out the game from here.
Yeah, they will have enough time to take this down. There's no way that HaNa will be able to defend this at this point. So awesome job by all-lane carry, just destroying them in all facets of the game again.
Volibear's up, Riven's up, but really there's not a whole lot to be done. The damage is just too much. There you go. The Nexus does go down. Your winner here, all-lane carry. Going to be moving on to group stage 1-0. HaNa's 0-1, but still, though, it's group play. You're not out yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they definitely they have a couple of matches, so we'll see how they can deal with this. Taipei Assassins definitely looking really strong. All lane carry as well, looking really good. We'll have to see how that works out.
And that entire game is just fantastic play, like from gank one. Amumu was just in the right spot at the right time. You're going up against a lane, Kennen, Tarek. Tarek's in the lane is going to be aggressive. And he was like, they're going to push. They know, they know something's up. They know the support's not around. They're going to try and push you in, but still manage to go ahead and get those kills. And Lee Sin, top lane, Volibear dropping the ball, handing off the double buff on a silver platter. It's like, here, take these buffs. I don't want them anymore. I don't need them. I'm a bear. What am I going to do with these? You take them.
Yeah.
And just double kill top lane and just dominated the lane from there.
Yep, definitely the case. I mean, just really early advantages. I don't know. We never really saw HaNa, get it going. They weren't ever really in the game. I don't know. We'll have to see how things kind of work out. I was just checking the lights. I just saw something for a while. But regardless, definitely exciting. I'm excited for the Taipei Assassins versus all-lane carry matchup. That should be really cool.
Yeah, I'm
sure later on in the tournament there's going to be a lot of really impressive teams.
It's going to be good, but unfortunately we're going to have to wait till Friday on that one because we're trying to keep this in semi-chronological order here. The way the games were carried out. So tomorrow morning. Usually we have our EU matches in the mornings, but we're going to go ahead. We need to make some space. We got to wait for some of the teams to get back onto a schedule, make them available so they can finish out the qualifier number 2. But tomorrow morning, instead of our EU broadcast, we're going to go ahead and continue on with the group stage here. So we're going to have a time to terminate double header here. So they're first going to go up against HaNa, and then we're going to have them up against all-lane carry. So that's going to be pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, definitely cool. And I mean, time to terminate and HaNa. With that kind of a matchup, we can definitely see what both these teams are made of. Mm-hmm. They did have some nice things going for them. They're clearly not terrible teams. It's just the early advantages that all lane carry and Taipei Assassins were able to get, and just pressure it and just not allow them to get up. Just going for the throat, able to pick up those kills. So we'll have to see. Again, thanks guys for tuning in. That's it for now. And not to mention, not only will we continue group stage tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to resume our NA matches. I believe we're going to have Cursed Legion on here.
So that's gonna be good.
That'll be cool. I'm definitely excited for that. We've seen Curse Legion actually a number of times. Back when Reflex was, or Legion was Reflex, we saw Curse Reflex a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's a really close matchup. They're both really strong teams, and
But,
they're always a lot of fun to watch.
But a lot has changed since then.
Yeah, a lot has changed.
A lot has changed. You know, got
Cruiser the Bruiser in the top lane.
You know, we got Saint Vicious in the jungle. So it's gonna
West Rice top. So actually, West Rice and Cruiser the Bruiser both new.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting time. We're hoping you go ahead and stick around with us tomorrow. And as always, be sure to follow up with everything that we are doing here at the IGN Pro League. IGN Pro League on Facebook and on Twitter, IPL on Twitch and on YouTube. And as always, send us your top, send us your flops. We want your replays, IPL replays@gmail.com. And with that, I think we are pretty much done for today.
Got that string done.
It's
locked down.
Dude, I mean, okay. I mean, you got to do the promotion thing at the very least.
Course.
Let's just make it, as quick and as painless as possible. Just like, going to the doctor, you got to get, a shot for whatever reason.
I actually like my doctor visits to be extremely painful.
Well,
I happen to be a masochist like that, and it's good for me regardless. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Yeah,
that's a little bit more than I wanted to know.
We'll be good. Thanks, guys. Rebroadcast will be up shortly.
Good night.